show, we're falling apart. Get me up on your highs, but we're still in love. There's a vacancy inside this heartbreak hotel, and I think we should check in. I'm going through hell. Talk about patience, what about the knot we tie? Couldn't get it right this time, so maybe we'll get it right. Sitting on needles, waiting for the best to fire. Can't do it all by myself, so maybe I'll just cry about it. Take my feelings and just lie about it. 'Cause I can really do without you. So call it just to cry about it. Oh, I cry a lot, you cry a lot, and I cry a lot. So tell me just to cry about it. I cry a lot, and you cry a lot, and I cry a lot. So tell me just to cry about it. We always like our things to remain as they were. Please be mine, top of mind, but your mind isn't where it should be. No, 'cause it's never with me. Talk about patience, what about the knot we tied? We couldn't get it right last time, so maybe we'll get it right. I'm sitting on needles, waiting for the best to fire. Can't do it all by myself, so maybe I'll just cry about it. Take my feelings and just lie about it. 'Cause I can really do without you. So call it just to cry about it. Oh, I cry a lot, you cry a lot, and I cry a lot. So tell me just to cry about it. I cry a lot, and you cry a lot, and I cry a lot. So tell me just to cry about
My God, I love that fucking song. What's going on, Conscious Crew? It is your favorite breakdown commentator, CTV. Welcome to another riveting episode of the Consciouztv platform. You may not know exactly what the hell I'm here to talk about because we don't review shows on this here platform, and I'm not really sure how many of the Conscious Crew tunes in to this particular web reality series, but I got to unpack my thoughts, and we're going to have a very special guest who's also no stranger to the platform, Tremel, in the building Thursday night to get into all of season 7 of Chasing Reality's shenanigans. But we're here to get into a particular discussion around 2 particular castmates who have kind of blown the season all the way up. And there's a lot going on around these 2 particular castmates. So before we get into the thick of it, please go ahead and run those likes all the way up. You guys know that thumbing up the video not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So when you are thumbing up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious Crew member and telling them to get their black asses into the sanctuary. Also, if you enjoy everything that Kane does here, you can always donate to the platform at $Consciouztv on Cash App and or paypal.me/ConsciouzTV. And of course, that's conscious, but with the Z on the end, just like it is here on the channel. All donation information and social media handles are in the description box below. Also, make sure that you have your notification bell set to all. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be a YouTube community, while your Snapchat, your MySpace, the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you lay the link. Just let them whores know that we're live and in color. But no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, what's going on, Conscious Crew? What's going on, Sherry? Hey, St. Marquise. What's going on, Southern? Yes, my baby father, Tremel, will be in the building with us tomorrow night, honey. And it's going to be quite the discussion. So definitely make sure that you got time on your hands, baby. Because we going forward. We're getting into the middle. We're going backwards, girl. We getting into the origins. It's going to be a lot of moving parts in that discussion. What's going on, Whitney? Hi, boo. So I'm not sure how many of you guys watch web series or web reality series, but Chasing Reality is a web reality TV series that's been around for ages. They have a Chasing Reality Atlanta, a Chasing Reality LA. I think they have a Chasing Reality Texas as well. What's going on, Jay and Exclusive? Hey, I am seated, relaxed, with the snacks ready to be entertained. Look, Jay, look. I'm not luck. My thoughts are racing, right? There is so much going on. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Chasing Reality is a web reality series. It's on YouTube. Just type in Chasing Reality. It is a really good series, okay? I have really good friends who are on season 7, such as Tremel, who you guys already know. He's also a moderator on the channel, as well as Carl, okay, or better known as It's K-Star, who also made a grand entrance into season 7 of Atlanta. And then you guys know my peers are also kind of affiliated with the show, such as Jamar, who is a producer for Chasing Reality Atlanta. So, you know, shout out to all of the folk, okay? Shout out to my niggas for doing the motherfucking thing, all right? So Tremel, you guys know, came up off of G Status. You guys know that Carl is K-Star. You know, he is a legend in these reality web series circles, etc. Y'all are no stranger to him. This will be Tremel's 3rd debut on reality TV. You guys know he did season 1, season 2 of G Status, ATL Hustle, and now he is doing Chasing Reality, which I'm gonna need Tremel to cut me my motherfucking reparations, because Tremel was never going to do reality TV. It was the king who taught his black ass into getting back on that screen. I think Tremel is completely a key and a cackle. He just has it. I love his very practical kind of boy next door energy and contribution to reality TV. You always need a very chill and neutral energy like a Tremel, especially when it comes to these type of series that can get quite messy. Okay, I like his dry sense of humor. I just love it. Like I've been a fan of Tremel since day one of G Status, and I am very blessed that we have been able to embark upon a friendship that is going to eventually lead to marriage and, you know, all of the things. Okay. Now, what's going on, DJ? What's going on, Deshaun? Hey, Southern Beauty. Hey, y'all. What's going on, T Talk with Shay? Hey. What's going on? Hey, DJ The Truther. Hey, my baby mother, Really B. Hey, boo. I am so interested in here. Oh, God. Really B, girl, you got it going on, girl. I was just watching you and Harbiana's versus match. I think it was yesterday, child. I was like, oh my God, honey, y'all be having it going on, y'all. The reality TV commentary sector is very, very fascinating. It's entertaining in and of itself. Shout out to my boo YB Speaks. You guys know I've done YB's panels as well. Shout out to him. Shout out to Harbiana. Shout out to TTB. Shout out to Scotty by Nature. Shout out to everybody. You know, all the people who does this. I think I'm going to slowly creep back into reviewing shows. We'll see how that goes. Of course, I watch season 7 for Carl and for Tremel, and I gotta be honest, before we get into the thick of this season has gotten really good reviews for the most part. Some people thought it was a little boring, that it lacked a little bit. I thought it was absolutely perfect, especially somebody who consumes a lot of garbage reality TV. Now that's TV, Zeus Network. You know, we have all these little sideline companies that are specializing in this hyper-violence and shit. So it was really refreshing to see just some real good old school reality TV. I feel like season 7 of Chasing Reality was giving me like the first 4 seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I like that the shade initially was very... it was just giving like classy shade. It was funny. It was light. It was just enough. I like the bouginess of the cast. And I liked that the drama wasn't super, super heavy. And I felt like this was an all-star cast. I really felt like everyone had main character energy. So shout out to the producers. Shout out to Andario for really selecting a great ensemble cast. I think that this crew cruise at the level that it needs to cruise, and I think that they can really be a force to reckon with as a ensemble cast if given the opportunity to continue to move forward. So Really B, I'm glad you're here. How is Andario when it comes to copyright? Because see, my audience doesn't really know Chasing Reality. I wanted to play some clips from the season, but I don't know how Andario is, girl, with the copyright infringement, girl, because he ain't about to take me up out of here, girl, because I have to come on TV and beat that whole ass. So how is Andario? Like, is it safe to do disclaimer, copyright review, or is he like real tight when it comes to, you know, playing his shit? I'm not going to play like his whole shit, but I just want to show people a few things here and there just to get my audience together. So Really B, let me know before I press play on some of these clips so that my folk, okay, he has never flagged me. Okay, but you and him cool though. Because I noticed that every other reviewer does not play his shit, and I don't know if that's cautionary tale or if that's just out of their preference. Okay, are you saying JN inclusive, he never flagged you either? He never flagged you either? Okay. Just holler at me on Zaria on the back end, girl, if it's an issue. Okay. Really be is gonna go check, child. Okay. Yeah, because we're gonna need all that. And shout out to you, boo. He's never flagged me. Okay, he's never flagged you. Okay. Really be is about to send the bat signal, child, so that we can get into the things and I can know how to line this thing up. So while we're waiting on Will It Be, you guys. So what I want to talk about is, you guys, this season has wrapped up. It's concluded. They are at their reunion stage of the show. They have already premiered and published part 1 and part 2. Part 3 of the reunion is going to be dropping tomorrow night on Chasing Reality's YouTube channel. It's going to be an explosive Part 3. You guys may or may not know that Dominique Morgan also hosted Part 1 and Part 2 of the reunion. Me and Tremel are going to get into all of those things. You guys know Dominique Morgan was recently accosted, girl, by the feds because she's being charged with fraud and deception and all of this. So she's locked up in Rikers Island right now, child. But she did make it to host this reunion, and she's gotten mixed reviews as a host of this reunion. I'm going to get into my thoughts on Dominique Morgan as a host when I talk to Tremel, because I kind of want to keep my commentary focused on the shenanigans of it all. What's going on, Ariel? What's going on, Kayliska? Hey, boo. I've seen other reviewers and panels play clips of the show. Okay, great. Really B is going directly to the source, so we're going to see what the feedback is. So this season played out. Now there was a lot of newcomers, including Carl, including Tremel, but also newcomers Nova, who is a trans woman, and Alfeeyaa, who is a natural born woman, and she's the first heterosexual female to be on the show. Okay. And she has become a fan fave. Okay. Alfeeya's storyline as a natural born woman is she's an up and coming artist. Neo soul seems to be her thing. She's chasing a music career and she's chasing success in the entertainment industry. The woman is completely and utterly flabbergastingly gorgeous. Everybody wants Alfeeyaa to go and give Tyra Banks and Naomi Campbell a run for their fucking money on these runways. I mean, the girl can sell couture. The girl has a marketable universal beauty, and she needs to use that motherfucking face card, bitch, to beat down every door necessary for her to get from her point A to her point goddamn B. I also love the uniqueness of Alfeeya's singing voice. It's not a conventional singing voice. She kind of has like a raspy, Lauryn Hilly, Macy Gray type of a vibe. I think it totally fits her. It fits her style, her aesthetic. I'm just here for the Alfeeyaa storyline arc. And we got breaking news tonight that unfortunately, as a result of all of the drama that has been played out, that she's quitting the show. So apparently, as of right now, she won't be back for season 8, which is so unfortunate because Alfeeyaa, I know you're going to see this, and I want you to listen to me and listen to me well, bitch. I know that doing reality TV is hard. Being a public figure is hard. But, bitch, something very special has happened to you as a result of this controversy that Nova has given to you. Right now, you have the audience looking. You have the public looking. You have a career that you're looking to launch. Bitch, you need to use all of the visibility and spotlight and emphasis and highlighting that you're getting from all of the positive publicity from the fans, despite some of the pushback from your castmates, and use that as motherfucking leverage. Okay, there are people, professionals, who will give an arm and a leg, and they pay for the type of publicity that you're getting right now. So I'm gonna need you to pull up your big girl panties. Put aside the shit that's irritating you on the back end and look at the bigger picture here, girl. And I need you to clamp that pussy together and come and stomp through on season 8 of Chasing Reality. Get you some merchandise. Have you some businesses and some sideline hustles that you're able to promote next season. And have a storyline for the gods, girl. That baby daddy that became a point of conversation this season, have his ass make an appearance, girl. Give the girls what they want. I need you to put on your business hat, Alfeeyaa. I need you to scoot past the personal feelings and frustrations, etc. You're behaving like a newcomer, so it's to be expected. But I really hope to God that somebody gets in your ear and really helps you to understand that you understood the assignment this season, okay? And that, girl, it's up for you. And you can carry, girl. You've been given the floor to twirl. So twirl the fuck on and take full advantage and really optimize and capitalize off of the visibility that you are getting and the fan and the fandom surrounding you right now. You would be crazy to drop the fucking ball and to get in your fifis, girl, instead of getting in your Omarosa bad bitch. If they want you, if nobody needs you to be the bad guy, bitch, be the bad guy. Don't be a transphobic bad guy, but be the bad guy anybody needs to be to you. But take advantage of this. You have it, sweetheart. We want to see your story playing out. You have a story that is very relatable to a lot of Black women within this country and within this system. You have a relatability. Chasing Reality predominantly has a fan base of nothing but Black queer men and natural born Black women. So you speak to and are a point of interest and uniqueness, especially being the first heterosexual woman to be on the show, girl. You have an audience that's hungry for that needs that from you. And we want you to bring it. We want you to bring it. Bring it. All right? Okay. Enough on the roses for Alfeeyaa. Matter of fact, let me give you a visual, you guys. Hold on. Hold on. Let me show you who we talking about. Did I bring up any of the visuals? I sure did. And wait a minute. You guys run the lights up. What's going on, Divine Fleming? Why is a cis woman? Why is a cis woman on Chasing? Because we have cis people in the community, Divine. They're called our allies. We live in a predominantly cis heterosexual world. I mean, isn't it inevitable that LGBT folk intersect with cis hetero folk? I mean, it actually kind of makes sense. And I honestly thought it was a nice little splish splash. I thought it was a nice little switch up. I thought that this was a very interesting addition to the cast. And aside from her and Nova's tension, I really feel like this could have been a lot better, even though it still has the potential to get good. But once again, we're going to get into all those details. I'm trying to find these images because let me see. Oh. All right, here we go. Let me show y'all who we talking about. So to the left, girl, is Alfeeyaa to the left, okay? A natural born Black woman. And here is Nova to the right, all right, trans woman. So let's get into Nova. Nova is the other trans woman on the show. There are two trans women on the show. That would be Nova to the right here, and that would be Tony, who is a fellow Scorpio. Shout out to the Scorpios. I'm a Scorpion bitch myself. And Nova clearly came on. How can I put this? Nova didn't mind being the provocateur of the season. She didn't mind being this season's razzle dazzle. She didn't mind stewing and brewing the cauldron. She didn't mind being the person who shakes the table, girl, and who wakes it all the way up. I think Nova is gorgeous. Nova has been heavily dragged for her transition. I don't know if people dragging her for her transition are just being shady because they just don't like her. And when you just don't like a bitch, you know, you just are going to call them everything but a child of God. But setting all that aside, Nova is gorgeous. I think her transition is epic. I think her swag is top tier. I think her personality is really cute. I love her accent. She talks like she has a tongue ring. And I like the generality of Nova. But both of these ladies had it going on, you guys, all season long. And right now, Nova is on the cross, girl, bleeding from every hole in her body and will soon be buried with a tomb wrote over her motherfucking coffin, never to be seen again, child. All right? And we're going to show you how we got there to Nova really being the bad guy of this season and fans being so over Nova that they're even practically holding their viewership hostage, saying that if Nova returns next season, they don't plan on watching or supporting Chasing Atlanta. The public feels like, a good bulk of the public feels like Nova bullied Alfeeyaa. They feel she's culturally problematic. They feel like she's a bully, she's immature, that she's practically a lunatic, and the general public has not been able to find a redeeming quality in Nova yet. And despite all those observations, I still like her. Because I can still see that thing, that it factor. But I am going to tug on her wig. And I'm going to tug on what's remaining of the wig Alfeeyaa is not wearing. Okay? The pendulum going to swing from left to right. Okay? I'm going to hold both ladies accountable because I like them both. Okay? We just need some tweaking and some refinement. Okay, Really B says, and Dario says, you're good. All right, he says, don't drag him. At least not tonight, Dario. I'm not going to drag you. At least not tonight. Okay, but thank you and shout out to Dario once again for a great season. Like, y'all really put y'all feet and y'all dish bottles, girl, into season 7. Because now I'm a fan, bitch. Now I'm a fan. And now I'm really mad because I should have reviewed season 7. I didn't know season 7 was going to be this good. I did not know season 7 was going to appeal to me in this manner. Now I'm mad that I missed my window to review, but I'm definitely going to be in the building for season 8 of Chasing Reality for sure, girl. Y'all can count on the Kane girl being in the commentary web series reality sector doing my big one. All right, so let's get into how we got here, y'all. So Nova and Alfeeyaa, it started off kind of promising. Everything was looking like it could be okay. And then, girl, episode 4 of this season was the straw that started breaking the camel's back. All right, so I'm going to show you guys what's happened. And before we get here, I got to give you guys some context. So by the time episode 4 rolls in, there is a little shindig. There's a little hosting. All of the castmates are in attendance aside from Tony, the other trans woman that I had mentioned to you guys. And they are playing the Carissa Please card game, which you guys know is very messy. It's designed to get niggas shot. It's designed to get niggas popped. It's designed, girl, to create a 911 distress call, girl. It's designed to wake it up. It's a very messy card game. Okay? On one of the cards, the cards read, does anybody in the group or has anybody in the group ever experienced BV, which is bacterial vaginosis? And I'm going to let the beautiful bean footage kind of carry y'all from there, girl. Okay? Check it out, child. Fair use of absolute course. Let's get into it.
Oh, I got that. Mine says, take a shot if you ever had BV or if you ever got some BV pussy. BV. BV pussy. I don't know what that is.
When we wear tight panties.
Yeast infection, like a yeast infection. Yeah. It's called. Yeah, you would know about that. Like B is in Bravo? We don't know.
Like ladies.
No, I don't got no BV ever issue. That's the beauty of being a trans woman.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys heard that, but yes, the messy ass Carissa Please card game asks, has anybody ever contracted BV, bacterial vaginosis? Obviously, this is a cast full of trans women and cis gay men, so some of them don't even know what the fuck BV means. They think it means bravo, like what the hell? But Alfeeyaa is explaining what BV is, bacterial vaginosis, and she makes the comment that, yeah, that's something that the ladies get. Now, mind you, she said that because Nova, the trans woman who read the card, was like, oh yeah, like, we don't get that, like, that's something for you, that's something for y'all, and it did come off completely condescending. Nova was definitely given like, girl, like, I'm gonna put the cis bitch in her place, like, yeah, girl, like, ill vagina BD, like, it was giving all of that, right? It's giving cooties, girl, like, oh, you got cooties, girl. And Nova was being condescending about it. Now, Alfeeyaa, because of Nova's comment and because the rest of the cast was kind of confused about what BB is, simply gave a response that, it's something that the ladies get, and she didn't have no tone. She didn't have no stank on it. She didn't have no rank on her response. It just seemed to be literally that, just a response. Information. I'm going to rewind it back to you so you can get that one more time, honey. Because, baby, them hoes almost come to blows, okay, over the foolishness.
Oh, I got all my nose here. Mine says, take a shot if you ever had BV or if you ever got some BV pussy. BV. BV. I don't know what that is.
I do need to be the host. I need to be the host for everything, okay? Like, hello. I totally agree, Divine. I mean, who else would do it better than a king? Like, nobody the fuck.
We wear tight panties.
Yeast infection, like a yeast infection. Yeah. It's called, yeah, you would know about it. I said, take a shot if you ever had BV or if you ever got some BV pussy. BV. BV. I don't know what that is.
We wear tight panties.
Yeast infection, like a yeast infection. Yeah. It's called, yeah, you would know about that. Like bees and Bravo? We don't know. No, I don't got no BV ever issue. That's the beauty of being a trans woman. So did y'all catch that?
Yeah, we did catch that, Nova. But what we also caught was that, like, all your emphasis on, oh, I'm a trans woman. I don't catch that. Nope. Like that's a y'all. Like, y'all. Like, boo. Like, you was putting 20 on regular. You was putting premium on regular gas, boo. Like, come on. Like, you're not gonna make it seem like Alfeeyaa is gaslighting you by simply informing the cast, who we can hear is asking about what the fuck BB is, and make it seem like she's coming for you when she's literally responding to the inquiry of what the BB situation is. And you were doing like way too much, especially towards somebody you don't know, a cast you're still getting familiar with. It wasn't friendly. It wasn't nice. And had it been somebody else, girl, you might have gotten a response that was actually problematic compared to Alfeeyaa situation.
Oh yeah, you would know about that. Like bees and Bravo? We don't know. Ladies, that's a ladies thing. All right, I got something for you. Let's make it more gay friendly. Take a shot if you ever.
Okay, so fast forward. Okay, so now, because Nova is offended and feels like Alfeeyaa just came for her by being like, yeah, that's something, like for the ladies, like the females. Now that she feels came for, Nova is now going to try to get her lick back. So she pulls another card. And I think, well, I'm going to let you guys hear the question and then see what Nova does. That's going to like inflame the room.
Mine says, who looks like they need to take a shower?
Oh my God, bitch. All right, I'm participating. Well, thank you guys so much. Everybody watched their ass today. And you know, I'm gonna say this bitch. Everybody watched their ass today. Yeah, right.
I'm gonna say, my karma. I'm gonna have to say, no shade, but Alfeeyaa.
Damn bitches, you got a problem?
I'm gonna say Alfeeyaa, not because I think she's a like smelly, dirty bitch, but just because, you know, I just heard a little rumor, you know, since I heard, you know, your baby daddy is gay for pay, I thought maybe she was just a little bit more vaginal when you take a shower.
Now, this is really interesting to me. Thank you so much, Erica. This look of yours tonight, I love it. Okay, hold on. Let me come back on camera. Okay, I was trying to focus on my commentary, but you know, if you guys need to be mesmerized by all of my beauty, that's fine as well. So, before we get into the fallout of this, what I found to be so cringeworthy about Nova's shade was that, honey, you don't realize that you backhanded your own self with that shade, because you and her both have sex with men. You and her both are intimate with men. Lots of men who have sex with trans women are also having sex with natural born or cis women as well. You're both in the same predicament. Are you equally using Vagisil on your pussy as a result? I didn't understand the gag, because it logically doesn't even make any fucking sense. Like, you both fuck on men. I was just confused. Okay.
Me just go with my reading, you know, when I say in my head. It was a question though, and I answered it.
Okay.
Get fit for the new
Dario, girl, is paying that rent, girl. The Martians are Marshalling, child. So y'all thumbs up, share.
Triforce and experience a quantum leap in distance.
Girl, they double backing it, honey. Getting that rent paid. Yes, God.
Happens to get a card by the grace of God. Who needs to take a shower? Y'all know who I'm gonna say. Alfeeyaa. And not only do I know that he's gay for pay, I know for a fact he's gay for pay because you said it out your own mouth.
I'm not my baby daddy was still, so you know, I guess it won't hurt to get a little bit. Yeah, on Twitter, bitch, y'all be on Twitter heavy.
Girl, off top, you are not the type of girl I would want to be friends with, because if you're saying that about your own baby daddy, I can only imagine what you would say about me or the people you have close to you.
Okay, so okay, so let's deal with this part. So Alfeeyaa, as a result of being a newcomer to the cast, she's in a predominantly LGBT scenario, and I guess wherever they was when Alfeeyaa made this comment about her baby daddy being on the down low and all of that, Alfeeyaa has said she shared that as a way to just bond and relate to everyone else, which is what you do when you are kind of like the foreigner and you're the outsider coming into a situation. You try to find, you know, the middle and the commonality and all of that. And she said it from her perspective in a way to, once again, just relate. So for Nova to take that information and then use it in a derogatory way toward her as a get back to Alfeeyaa clarifying what BB was, which had nothing to do with Nova and was not a dig or a slide to Nova, since Alfeeyaa would be qualified to clarify what BB is, even though trans women can get BB as well. But we do know that females commonly get BB, like Alfeeyaa said. It can be the result of your pH balance being off, wearing tight clothing, yada, 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 not allowing the cooch to breathe. So now Alfeeyaa is about to hit the motherfucking fan, because she's just like, why the fuck are you coming for me? And they are damn near about to come to utter blows. Let's continue to look.
I think it's time to go, y'all.
That was not my big part today. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for coming. This was such a beautiful night.
Bitch, my baby daddy is gay for pay.
Oh, I say
You thought I didn't know, bitch. Bitch, you telling me some shit I already talked. Bitch, I was sexy when I told you that, and I didn't even say it that way. So what are we really talking about? Bitch, is you mad because you trying to get BB? You really call me, you gonna call me dirty, you gonna call me weak, you gonna say you ain't gonna say I can't motherfucking see. What the fuck did I do to you, bro? No, that's what you talking about.
This fucking bitch had the audacity to get in my fucking face as if I'm gonna knock her head off her fucking shoulders. Nova, sit down, don't slap this bitch. But then she gets up, and I'm just like, you know what, Nova, slap this bitch.
Okay. Now Alfeeyaa has been getting a criticism from some people saying that she should have never shared the baby daddy situation. Like, girl, this is reality TV, and these people are not your friends, and you don't know these people enough to be sharing your tea. Why did you share your tea, etc.? Honestly, I feel like that feedback is very gaslighting, because for one, this is reality TV. Like, they all signed up to tell and to show their motherfucking business. That's literally what reality TV is, girl. Okay? Not only are you sharing your personal business with a bunch of people on a cast you don't know, you're sharing it with hundreds of thousands of motherfucking strangers who are going to consume the content as well. So I also didn't understand the logic of people on reality TV telling a reality TV star not to share their reality when they're on Chasing Reality, a reality TV. And I felt like it was a way to shield and to deflect from Nova, who should have been held accountable for, first and foremost, projecting onto Alfeeyaa, because that's what Nova did. Because Nova later seemed to kind of like allude and hint to having some hangups as a trans woman, because her and Noelle, we're going to get into her and Noelle too. She revealed that she kind of has some hangups. She kind of has some issues, some unresolved around the transness, and maybe has some issues with natural born woman as well on some level, to some degree. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the social media space. Maybe it's because of her own anecdotal experiences. Maybe it's because of how loud some natural born women are about their transphobia and always denouncing, demeaning, dehumanizing trans women, etc. So it seems like some of that bled over into Nova projecting onto Alfeeyaa and making her BB comment literally about her, when literally it had nothing to do with her. Wasn't even directed at her. It was directed at the room who was inquiring about what the fuck BB is. So I think that Nova in part came onto the show with issues that maybe she didn't know she had, and with a level of shadow work that she had not done yet. And she ended up projecting onto a few different people, not just Alfeeyaa. She also ended up projecting onto Noel. Noel is a same gender loving cis man on the show. He's androgynous. He gender bends. He plays in makeup and wigs and hair. He, you know, swings between his energies. Sometimes he shows up like Saucy Santana. And then Damon sometimes just shows up as a regular smuggler boy. And when Nova first was introduced to Noel was in his garbs. He was in his divine femininity, girl. And Nova had a whole fit. She just felt like, girl, he didn't have a right to express himself like that since he don't identify as trans. Why are you in a wig? Why are you in a makeup? Why are you presenting this feminine when you're not a trans woman? And Alfeeyaa, I don't know why I want to call her Alfeeyaa. And Nova felt like that was an insult to the trans community and that Noel was embarrassing and making a mockery of the trans community, even though he's not trans. He's just a gay boy who sometimes likes to present in extreme femininity. So when she did that to him, and then this scene happens with her like making a comment not directed about her or her womanhood or her femininity, making it about her. I was like, oh, there is a pattern here. And Nova is like, she's got some things. She's got some things with her that she don't realize has only to do with her. And she's unnecessarily finding villains in her path, and it's not really necessary. She doesn't really know that the boogeyman that she's imagining does not exist, at least not within this group. But her unresolved traumas have her projecting and creating boogeymans where they are not. She's creating villains where there could be allies. She's creating villains where there could be friendships. She's creating villains where there could be sisterhood and brotherhood. And she's making that same mistake in the same season with Alfeeyaa in this particular scene. So they go up, all right? So all this happens. There's a whole thing. They separate Nova, they separate Alfeeyaa, etc. Y'all know, girl, you know, Consciouztv can also stand for Clock It TV. It can also stand for Clock It TV. Hey, boo, hey, y'all, hey, everybody. So fast forward, right? Okay, so by the time episode 7 happens, right? So all this is going down in episode 4 with Alfeeyaa and Nova, and then the Noel stuff goes down with him and Nova in episode 1. So now we are in episode 7. So now there is a lemon squeeze, right? And in this lemon squeeze, tensions are high. There's lots of drama amongst the cast. There's issues flying in every direction. And Alfeeyaa and Nova have not seen each other since episode 4 when the whole Nuck and Buck, BB, your baby daddy down low, your baby daddy gay situation happened, right? So now they are confronting their unfinished business. And Alfeeyaa decides to communicate to Nova that, look, sis, your issue really not with me. I think that you're really insecure and that you have a lot of insecurities and that you're just making me the bullseye and blah, 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 blah. And Nova says this in response to Alfeeyaa, a dark-skinned Black woman, calling her insecure. Check this out.
Hey, bitch, look at me. Look at me. I'm a red zone. I've been a 430. You don't even know my story.
And we not against each other. I'm a Black woman. I'm a mother. I could not believe you. We did not have a problem. Now do you feel like you owe me an apology?
No.
And that's okay.
I don't.
And that's okay. Because I forgive you.
Don't. So the fact that she's still wasn't her intention. Could you at least like?
No, and she gonna say sorry for everything she done said about me in the email. I said one thing about her fucking baby daddy being gay today that she fucking said, and everything she done said in that email about me. You don't fucking know me. You don't even know my storyline. What me and Tony have, you don't even know about. With Tony, it is true. She did invite me to a ball to walk.
No. I invited everybody to the ball.
You invite us to the ball. You never told her she could walk. You insecure.
When we watch, bitch, I'm not even care about shit. Bitch, look at me. Look at me. I'm a red zone. I'm in a 430.
No, that's okay.
I can buy any type of clothes I want. I don't gotta ask nobody.
So then there was that. Then after she, by this time, y'all, the audience is through and over. By the time episode 7 rolls around, girl, the girls are through with Nova. The audience is through with her. They are completely irritated, aggravated. They don't get it. They don't understand it. They don't know what she's chasing. Is it the ballroom scene? Is it music? Is it the Motel 6? They don't know what she's chasing, on top of the fact that they feel like she's unnecessarily bullying people. By the time all this is also happening, not only has she had an imaginary gripe with Noel, all because of how he chooses to present aesthetically, now she's latching on to Alfeeyaa, which nobody has no type of context for. They don't literally get it. And despite how nice Tremel has been to Nova, and Carl has been to Nova, Nova is in a scene with the guys who don't like Carl and don't like Tremel, and she's basically like, yeah, basically fuck Tremel and Carl. Like, it's Team Us, it's Team Elite, it's Team DC 500, or whatever the fuck it is. And so, with everything culminating up to this very point, like, Nova becomes deeply undesired, unwelcomed, and unlikable by the viewers. Okay? So now in the thick and the throes of her issue and her drama with Alfeeyaa, she responds to a dark-skinned woman who has not said anything about her appearance, nothing about her complexion, nothing about her identity, nothing about her womanhood. And the way you defend yourself against a dark-skinned Black woman calling you insecure is by emphasizing and pedestalizing your light-skinnedness. Now the public was on Nova's motherfucking ass. And to prove to you, baby, just how bad of an ass they were on, let's just scroll through, because the comments did not let up, girl. People were saying, Alfie, we love you, Black woman and mother. Somebody else says, how you hate fish, but trying to be it, make it make sense. Because on top of this, light skin, I'm light skin, bitch. Like, why would I be insecure? Why would I be jealous? Why would I be whatever? Somebody refers to Nova also as Black, and she corrects them, and she's like, no, bitch, like, I'm Latino, or I'm El Chapo, or whatever the hell she says in response. But she moves away from the Black identity, but she's also on the show saying the N-word, and is leaning into that when it's convenient. But then when she's held to being Black, she deflects from being Black and like, oh no, I'm not Black, I'm blah, 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 blah. So, girl, people are not letting up on Nova at this point. Let's continue to read some comments here. Alfie and Carl ate it up this episode. Nova's insecurities and lack of self-worth is extremely exhausting, and nobody has time for this BS. Someone else says, Miss Fifi, confessional read was lethal. She ate that. Somebody else says, Alfeeyaa, keep your head up. You're strong. You're beautiful. You're worth it. Someone else says, I love my girl. Love and protect Black women. She was right. F that girl. Always want a moment. Someone else says the problem is that she used the info to insult Alfeeyaa, which was what Alfeeya's issue is. Why are you bringing up a comment I made in Just and Kiki and weaponizing it, etc. Boom, 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 boom. Alfeeyaa called her a prostitute, and they said it's not prostitution, it's sex work. My God, today I lost it. Someone else says, wow, Alfeeyaa ate that. I can't even lie. Alfeeyaa is a sweetheart. I met her recently, and we literally check on each other almost daily, and she's very supportive. Someone else says, please don't bring Nova back. Someone else says, Dominique is so corny. Someone else says, Alfeeyaa turned it. She's a great addition. Alfeeyaa was 100% correct in the email. Because also by this time, you guys, there's email gate. I'm not going to get into that. I'll get into that with Tremail. I'll get into all of the things of the season, you know, when me and Tremail sit down on Thursday. But we're going to keep the focus kind of Alfeeyaa. But Alfeeyaa did send an email because at this time she was not really liking her experience. She felt like she was being bullied and targeted for no reason. I think also by this time, there's a group chat that we never see, but it exists amongst the cast. And it's kind of a way for the cast to kind of keep in touch throughout filming. They're able to invite each other to birthdays, events. They're able to link up. They're able to address certain things within this like ensemble group chat that exists. Apparently, after some of this debauchery with Nova, Alfeeyaa is speaking to the cast in this group chat. And apparently, Alfeeyaa misgenders Nova and calls Nova he instead of she, but Alfeeyaa deletes the comment and I guess puts the correct pronoun. Apparently Tony, who's the other trans woman on the show, my Scorpio bitch, she has a conversation with another castmate about Alfeeyaa, basically asking, is Alfeeyaa transphobic? Why would she misgender Nova in the group chat? Apparently, the castmate she talked to kind of pays it and just like, no, girl, like it's all good. They were both battling down to the ground. So Tony ended up paying it initially because, as she said on the reunion, she feels like basically when people argue and when people going low, it's a no holds bar. You know, do what you have to do. So she's willing to excuse a level of transphobia if it's a battle and two girls are windmilling down and both are going for blood. So whatever y'all want to say to each other, girl, have at it. Y'all want to drag each other's coochies, each other's BDs, each other's children, each other's ovaries, girl, like each other's identities. Like when it's a war, and there's going to be bloodshed. So she initially paid it. However, apparently within this email, there was an email on top of a group chat. So then there was the group chat where apparently Alfeeyaa misgendered Nova. Then there was an email that went out to, I think, Ondario and other producers, even producers that were no longer a part of the show, which made some people feel like Alfeeyaa was being really messy because Alfeeyaa allegedly knew that some of the people she was emailing and attaching her email to weren't even a part of the show, had particular tensions and smoke with some of the authorities and principalities of Chasing Reality. And it felt like to some of the cast members that Alfeeyaa was intentionally trying to get shit started by pretty much validating those other people who no longer on the show's experience by attaching this email, pretty much dragging production. She felt like she was being set up. She felt like she wasn't being protected. Apparently, she was wanting to leave. She made a few other accusations and expressed a few different things. But then she pops up. She pops up for the lemon squeeze. She pops up to talk it through. Everybody now has read the email. Everybody has their fair share of opinions and offenses about some of the things within the email. There are some other people who have their powwow with Alfeeyaa. And then this is when my baby daddy Tremel comes into play. Because at this point now, especially now, Chasing Reality's audience is like, girl, nobody protected Alfeeyaa. And I do have to give my baby daddy credit, Tremel, who definitely tried to protect Alfeeyaa, and that happened within this episode. Matter of fact, let's see if we can scam through Tramiel speaking up for Alfeeyaa. Let's see. Are we past that? Let me see. Let's see if I can find it. Because, baby, it went down at this motherfucking lemon squeeze, girl. That these girls had it going on. Okay, here's part of Email Gate. Let me see.
Get one of these.
They put a screenshot of Alfeeyaa's email in the scene, child. Alfeeyaa had it going on, girl. Alfeeyaa had it going on. She had it going on. Let me see. Hold on. Where's some motherfucking?
He basically said that I used your personal story for.
Okay, so this is part of that email from Alfeeyaa. Alfeeyaa says, unfortunately, Nova's continued aggression plus bringing up my baby, as in her son, telling somebody else's story to embarrass me for filming only further reveals the character and values she chooses to display. I say this not with malice, but with clarity. You cannot demand respect while actively undermining others. And then she captions that with official statement from Alfeeyaa, a story should be told, not stolen. And so, you know, she's tugging on the wigs and she's wanting somebody to hold Nova accountable for her, for Nova's behavior. Now, here's the thing. Alfeeyaa definitely should not have been emailing production, because at this point now, this is like regular smegula reality TV, back and forth, drama, pettiness, bullshit. This is something that Alfeeyaa should have kept in-house and amongst her castmates, and she should have been talking to them about her feelings, because this is the messy part of reality TV, the beefing, the drama, the picking and poking, the antagonism, all of that, all of this. I don't know why Alfeeyaa could not have just had a scene where she said this directly to the group. But mind you, as a result of her sending this email and basically looking for accountability, Tramiel tried to step in during this lemon squeeze and speak up for Alfeeyaa, basically like, look, I do feel like y'all are casting her out, casting her aside. People start chewing him up, going in on him, dragging him, getting up to throw soda cans and shit, girl. That was a whole motherfucking mess. But I just want to give Tramiel credit for trying to take up for Alfeeyaa. Alfeeyaa, unfortunately, also kind of undid what Tramiel was trying to do in trying to advocate for her by pretty much playing down the feelings she had expressed in that email and the feelings that she had expressed to Tramiel privately about the way she was feeling about being isolated from the cast, etc. So Tramiel ended up feeling like, well, damn, like, I'm trying to speak up for you, but you're not even willing to, like, help me help you, because you trying to gloss over things and just trying to smooth over things and just get back to the I just want to be cool, I just want to kick it shit. So now I'm confused, because when you come to me, you act like it's a problem, and that you're really under duress and that you really have an issue with the way you perceive yourself being treated. But then when you in these people's faces, you bowing down and you really kissing the ring. And now I'm looking fucking stupid because now these hoes on my motherfucking head. And you know, so to the public's talking points around was Alfeeyaa protected, I think we can see from even this little example of Tramiel trying to intercede on behalf of Alfeeyaa that I don't think Alfeeyaa was also making it easy for people to advocate for her, because she was just so ready to just make everything all right, rather than to hold people's feet accountable and say, hey, no, y'all are really bullying me. Y'all are being immature as fuck. I do feel like I'm being isolated. I feel like I'm being targeted. I feel like y'all are cuddling Nova. And it just doesn't seem like there's enough accountability. I'm not feeling particularly socially safe amongst this space. It's like, that's how she should have pivoted from what Tramiel was trying to do, because Tramiel had set it up so that she could alley-oop, but instead of alley-oop and shooting her three-pointer, she started copping please. And I don't know if that has something to do with maybe why other people just didn't bother coming to Alfeeya's aid throughout the season the way people felt like the men and the cast should have, because they saw that Alfeeya struggles with like passive aggressiveness. She says one thing, but then she does another. She doesn't maintain continuity to what she's feeling and doing, and that can frustrate an ally. That can frustrate someone who's trying to have your back, but when you're changing your feelings every 3 seconds, and when you giving it up to me privately, but then you smizing and smiling and trying to be cute and coy with these hoes instead of standing on business, then eventually I don't know how to help you emotionally. I don't know how to really support that type of duality. So maybe that has something to do with maybe why other people just wasn't really getting in it the way that the audience felt like other people should have got in this thing and regulated this shit and put Nova in her place and start chin checking this shit, because this is where we get into the thick of it. Because now that Nova has made the I'm light skinned, I'm not black, then she named the oppositional side the elites and classified herself as an elite. Then in that scene where her and Alfeeya is going at it at the shindig, she also says that this basically why she don't fool around with females and with biological women. I think she might have used fish. And so now the audience, right, who's predominantly black and is a mixy group of black gay men and females, are like, what do they do with Nova? They are utterly offended. Oh, Jamel texting me right now, child. Hold on. And Nova is now being dragged to hell, and back. Now she's being considered a colorist. She's being considered a bully. She's being accused of not liking biological women. And now the audience has an issue with everybody on the cast because they don't know why the cast is not calling all this shit out when they're benefiting from the support of biological black women who consume the show. And they're all black. The consumers of Chasing Reality is black. And yet this girl is calling a dark-skinned black woman stank and musky and uplifting her light-skinnedness relative to Alfeeya's aesthetic, and is just kind of unnecessarily poking and fighting with this woman for no reason. And on top of all that, she really blows with the wind. She also has lied at this point on Tony, the other trans woman, because she claimed that Tony invited her to walk ballroom and to walk at a show that Tony was in, when Tony had never invited Nova to walk. She invited Nova to attend the ballroom shindig, but she never invited her to walk. But Nova held an entire congressional hearing with the cast, like, yeah, I feel away because she was supposed to have me walk and she never contacted me and she never trained me and she never turned me into Blue Ivy Girl and had me sashay the stage, and I feel away and I don't know why she would lie to me. I don't know why she would not keep her word. And the cast is kind of confused because they're like, girl, because we don't really know Tony to be a liar, and it doesn't really seem that that's Tony's stilo. So this is kind of weird. But then Nova leaves the parking lot after attending the ballroom scene the ballroom shindig that Tony is walking in. And so they're like, girl, Nova just left and she told us that you invited her, to walk, and she didn't walk. And Tony's like, are y'all kidding me, girl? This got to be Punk. It's giving MTV, girl. Where are the cameras, girl? Where's Viacom? Because there's no way. Did she really say that I invited her? That is so not true. So there's like, all of this just becomes unattractive to the consumers. They just don't like Nova. And even though I like Nova, I would be willing to give Nova a do-over. I understand why the public does not like Nova. I'm not going to sit up here and make excuses for Nova. I'm not going to sit up here because her comments were out of order. She didn't read the motherfucking room. You are offending large demographics and communities of consumers of the show, both Black and biological women. And if they're chewing you up, I mean, that's fair game, especially when Nova really wasn't also in the business of handing out any apologies on top of that. So then it also made everything feel so intentional, which AKA made everything feel very malicious and very intentional. But the cast kind of feels like the audience, Chasing Reality's audience, is unnecessarily caping for Alfeeyaa just because Alfeeyaa is a biological woman. So they feel like there's some biological privilege that is happening here. I would have to disagree with the cast. I know that because a lot of things are being centered around Nova and Alfeeyaa, that it makes it look like everything is about cuddling Alfeeyaa. But the reality is that Nova, even outside of Alfeeyaa, just has not translated well for the Chasing Reality audience, because she's already coming on with the burden of being a newcomer. And you're coming on to a series doing weird shit to people who are already favorites and have an established audience on the show, like Tony, who is the OG. Why are you lying on Tony? You're new. We don't know you. Your behavior obviously is going to be very weird and contrasting just because she's new to the series. People know Carl and Tramel, obviously, from all of their work on web reality series. Why are you throwing them under the bus just to align with their ops when they've been nothing but nice and kind to you? Then there's all these generalities you're making about women in general. You're not specifying that this is why you don't fool up with transphobic fish. This is why you don't fool up with homophobic fish. You're making a broad stroke about women's community in general. Then it's the whole I'm not Black thing. And then it's, it's the things, girl. So it's not about Alfeeyaa. Alfeeyaa is not the reason why the public don't like Nova. They don't like Nova because Nova has not translated as a likable person as a whole. And the Alfeeyaa thing is just one of a trillion reasons why people don't like Nova. They don't like her for how she did Tremel and Carl. They don't like her for how she did Alfeeyaa. They don't like her for the shit that she said out of her mouth. They don't like her for the gaslighting, for the unnecessarily bullying, because nobody really got to know Nova outside of Nova being a shit starter. So she forfeited being able to establish herself and get in well with the viewing audience in exchange for wanting to be a bad girl on reality TV. And here's the thing. Bad girls and bad boys work for reality TV. And as I told Tremel in our conversation, Nova could have worked as a villain if that's the role she wanted to play. But Nova needs to know how to be TV villain. Instead, she was culturally problematic. You can be a bad guy. If you want to be elitist and you want to think you're better than people and you want to be bougie as hell and you want to carry that air and kind of be a mean girl and you want to have a burn book and all of that, that's the kind of shit that can work for a ensemble reality TV cast. You're not going to be redeemable if you're saying things in ways that can be argued to be phobic as hell, whether it's cisphobic, whether it's colorist, whether it's whatever. And I do feel like some of the casts who are trying to play down Nova's behavior while completely emphasizing Alfeeyaa's response, aka misgendering Nova, I do feel like they're being a little delusional and cherry picking. But let's get into that point too. Alfeeyaa, you are in a predominantly LGBT space, boo. You cannot argue with a queer man on the show or a trans woman on the show and use homophobia or transphobia as a clapback and think that that's also going to land correctly, because it's not. Of course, Tony is going to feel absolutely away, despite all the things Nova has said that also should be equally addressed. But she's obviously going to feel away about Alfeeyaa misgendering Nova because Tony is a trans woman and she's incubated within a space where there's a reasonable degree of safety she can expect because she's amongst her kind. And so for Alfeeyaa to also be a newcomer, nobody has a rapport. Well, Tony doesn't have a rapport with her. She doesn't know her enough to understand what the context is, what the sincerity is and is not behind the misgendering, etc. And then apparently, according to Tony, Alfeeyaa continued to kind of double down by jumping on panels and participating in transphobia, etc. I totally understand that. Alfeeyaa, if you're not transphobic, the burden is on you to never fight in a way that makes you look transphobic. Just like if a white person is not racist, it doesn't matter how much a black person is roasting them, gagging them, tearing them up. It's never going to come to their minds to use the N-word because they're literally not racist. If you're not transphobic, no matter how much a trans woman is gagging you down, dragging your hair, dragging your whatever, it's never going to come to your mind to misgender that trans woman because you're not transphobic. But I'm also mature enough to understand that hurt people hurt people. So when a motherfucker coming for you, you are going to try to hurt them in a way that you feel they can be hurt. You're going to try to get in on those vulnerabilities. I get that. There are some people who abide by the philosophy of, baby, when they go low, I'm going straight to Satan's lap, bitch. I'm going to descend straight into the middle of Satan's legs, girl. When you go low, girl, I'm going to open up the caverns of the earth. That's some people's attitude when it comes to love and war. But if you're going to take those type of risks, then yeah, you have to expect the pushback though. When you're going to take those type of risks amongst other LGBT people, when you're going to take those type of risks toward trans women when you're taking those type of risks before a predominantly LGBT consumer base. So Alfeeyaa acting like dizzy about the misgendering and kind of flip-flopping, like on one hand, it's, well, I didn't say that. And then on the other hand, it's like, well, no, I said it, but she came for me. So I'm going to come after her. Like, you really do got to pick a struggle. You really do got to pick between those. You either got to own it or you got to defend it. But you can't do both. Because you can't defend something that on the other end you saying you never said. And then saying you never said it in front of other people who know you said it and know you wrote it is a problem, because now you're calling those people a liar. So now they have another issue with you on top of you allegedly being transphobic, is now you're lying and you're calling into question other people's credibility and character and integrity. So it just creates a Final Destination sequence of fucking events. And it's okay if you said it out of anger and you said it because you felt like she was taking you through a public humiliation ritual. Okay, and I took that bitch through a public humiliation ritual. I took her where she didn't want to go, like she took me. You stand in it, and then you take your lashings from the community and you let them educate you and say, hey, that's cool. You can take a bitch through there. If you are going to do that, then understand, like, we ain't gonna never find it cool. So don't ever expect us to pat you on the back for misgendering another individual within our community who's a part of our community. Or don't fight that way. If you are not transphobic, it's your job to never say, behave, or operate in any way that is transphobic. And that registers as transphobic. That's not the burden of the cast. That's not the burden of the Lord that Alfeeyaa serves. That burden is on her. So, Alfeeyaa, either defend you misgendering Nova or apologize for it and be willing to be educated and not replicate that behavior again. Now, Nova chose to be problematic throughout the entire season. She chose to be a supervillain to the season. And then fast forward, we get to the reunion and she's in tears. She's crying a river. She's copping pleas saying that, hey, I'm not a colorist. I don't hate all women. I was raised partially by a Trinidadian dark-skinned woman who took me in when my biological parents weren't fucking with me, who allowed me to exist in my identity, who opened up her heart to me. There's no way that I can be a colorist. There's no way that I can be against all women. I love them. And then she bursts into tears. I'm going to tell you why so many reviewers and why so many viewers of the show couldn't respect that and couldn't receive that from Nova and question the sincerity of what she was communicating. And it was because you didn't want to have a humanity and you didn't want to be vulnerable until you could use it to shield yourself from accountability for the comments that were perceived to be colorist and perceived to be anti-Black and perceived to be anti-woman. If Nova had given us her story throughout the season, had her villain arc been balanced with also showing her kindness, showing other facets of her personality, then, you know, those things might have been able to smooth out the way that the viewers have experienced Nova, but they weren't able to. And then by the time she opened up her heart chakra and she wanted to tear up and to emote in that way, of course it came off completely insincere. And just like I'm saying about Alfeeyaa, either got to defend misgendering Nova or she got to apologize, not replicate that behavior, and be willing to take her lashings and her correction, Nova would have to do the same thing. We don't need your tears, and we don't need you cop and please by weaponizing your vulnerability and your story in order to make you look like something that you may be or may not be. However, you have to take your lashings too. People think you're a colorist. People think you don't like women. So just like in Alfeeya's case, you either got to defend that shit and stand by it and say, yeah, bitch, I said it, and I didn't mean it that way, and I'm arguing with one bitch and one bitch only, and that's for that bitch. And I ain't apologizing for shit because it wasn't meant for nobody else, and if people got feelings about it, then suck my pussy, kiss my ass, bitch, put a foot in it. Or you have to take your lashings, apologize, and stand corrected as well. And when you're getting all the pushback, instead of arguing and defending your ego, lean into the accountability. Give your PSAs, girl, and make your general apologies and say, hey, y'all, I am so sorry. I let my temperament get the best of me. I did not realize the shit that was coming out of my mouth and how general it was. And on top of that, some of the shit that I was just saying, period, was just problematic, period. It really was no pretty way to say some of the ugly shit that I was saying. So I hear y'all, and I apologize for anybody that was offended. I understand that most of the viewers are either biological women and are mostly Black people. If given the chance, I'm going to show you guys another side to me, and I'm going to show you that, you know, I'm cool, I'm calm, I'm collected, and I'll see you guys on the other side. And then boom, you go improve that. You go improve that. You don't allow yourself to continue to get caught up in the loop of defending, and you allow the people who think you should be held accountable to actually hold you accountable. You give them the space to react, to emote, to feel just how the fuck they feel. And then you burden yourself with changing people's minds about a situation that you created for them because all of your own behavior led to whatever the perception is. Now, the big question, do I feel like Nova is a colorist? I feel like Nova has a fake bravado that she uses to protect herself with, which I understand because trans women have it so hard. Trans women are some of the most dehumanized people within our society. They are ripped apart by everything and everyone. I understand the protective covering that Nova wears. I don't feel she's a colorist, but I feel like the fake confidence that she operates in is one where she generally feels better than just anybody else, period. Trans bitch, cis bitch, gay bitch, woman bitch, male bitch, all bitches. Like, I feel like the fake confidence that she operates in is just a general, I'm better. And look, if that's, I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with feeling that way if you feel that way. But if you're going to act like you feel that way and you're not going to go out of your way to like keep that to yourself and to kind of tuck that under, girl, then you just got to be ready for the smoke, bitch. Like, you just got to be ready to deal with the consequences of being her in all caps. But I don't think she's color. Like, I don't think that Nova sits around looking at dark skinned people like, oh my God, like, oh girl, like dark skinnedness, like chocolateness, like, oh girl, just, oh girl, so ugly. I don't think that. But I do think that Nova's fake confidence has her generally just feeling better and above all people. And the fact that she changed her and her crew's group chat name from DC5 or DC6 to the Elites is what tells me a lot about her psychology. The psychology of her fake confidence is more about elitism and more about the general idea that I'm better and above and exalted above all people, and I will exalt myself above the stars of heaven, than it really is about being a colorist per se. And I also think that Nova is immature enough to try to meet people where they at and hurt them in the way that she think that they can be hurt. I think with Alfeeya's story being that of a single mom, and then Nova knowing how dark-skinned women feel unappreciated and feel unpretty by conventional beauty standards, that when it came to beefing with her, Nova tried to weaponize that just to dehumanize Alfeeyaa. But I don't feel like Nova is per se a colorist. But because she made comments that definitely can be argued to be colorist, I also would not be surprised if she is a colorist. Okay? I don't know her enough to know for a fact whether she is or isn't, but just based upon my observations, I don't think she's a colorist, but I just think she's a nasty fighter, and she's going to go low when she fights, and she has a general fake confidence of exalting herself above all people, and that's going to be reflected when she's battling other people. Do I feel like Nova hates women? As of right now, I do. I do feel like Nova has a gripe with females, period. Once again, I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if it's envy or if it's trauma because she's been hurt, abandoned, abused. I mean, for God's sakes, her own biological mother, according to what I could extract from what she shared about her story, abandoned her. That can create a deep woman fracture. If you are abandoned by the divine feminine that's supposed to be in your life, your mother, your grandmother, you know, like the central woman in your life abandons you, that can create a mother fracture that becomes a woman fracture in general. Like a lot of men who've been hurt by their moms end up having issues generally with women as well. So I don't know if the context of Nova's gripe with females is envy or whether it's trauma and therefore a defense mechanism, but I do think that it's there. And the reason why I also question the sincerity of her plea copying on the reunion is because she gave us the whole spiel about this Trinidadian stranger who took her in and loved her in place of her mother's love. But then she turned around and hopped on Harbiana's panel and was battling with YB Speaks, and shout out to my boo, YB Speaks, who has not been letting up on Nova and has been keeping his Timberland boot to Nova's motherfucking neck and has been calling her out for all the things. And in that conversation, she was like, I forgot what was said to her, because there was another panelist who kind of was like on Nova's neck too. And she referred to that same Trinidadian woman who she gave all them roses to, that she gave all of them divine things to on the reunion, and called her a bitch. She was like, yeah, no, like I had this before that bitch, or I was like this before that bitch. And people were like, bitch, why are you calling the dark-skinned black woman, the dark-skinned Trinidadian woman that you tried to use as a way to escape the colorist accusations, and now that same Trinidadian dark-skinned woman is a bitch? So I think Nova has issues with women. I do. I don't know what the full context is. And I think upon seeing her in action more, I'll be able to extract more to inform my psychoanalyst of her. But I do think there are issues there for sure. And I think that Alfeeyaa got the bitter end of that. Things that Nova said, like, oh, you ain't supposed to be here anyway. I don't know why you're here. Like, you don't belong here. It's definitely given defense mechanism and guardedness. And once again, Alfeeyaa was really clocking it at the lemon squeeze. Like, girl, you're insecure. You're projecting. This ain't got nothing to do with me. You just don't know that because you're so wrapped up and consumed in your own toxicity, in your own dark spiritedness. And you really think something is happening between you and I that is not, bitch. It's happening in your mind. It's not happening between you and I in all actuality. Okay, Alfeeyaa. Do I feel like Alfeeyaa is transphobic? Woo, girl. Now, see, things done got more. See, this why, look, if you find yourself winning in the public, word to anybody who ever can get the public to be on their side. Stay out the fucking way. Don't talk. Don't hit panels. Don't make no more statements. Let the public advocate for you, because guaranteed, if you keep talking, you eventually going to talk your ass into the shorter end of the stick. Initially, I was not willing to believe that Alfeeyaa was transphobic. I heard Carl say on JT's show, shout out to JT, aka Stylish TV. Yes, I've been keeping my ear to all the streets regarding everybody's reviews and commentary about this season. So shout out to all of the reviewers. I heard Carl say that he gives Alfeeyaa credit because even though, yes, Alfeeyaa misgendered Nova in the group chat, but he gives her credit because she retracted. She retracted the misgendering. So she did. So she was proactive and reactive. And I'm like, okay, cool. But to Tony's point, no, Alfeeyaa since has been out here on social media. She's been shucking and jiving in comment sections. She's been shucking and jiving on panels where Nova is being grossly misgendered. People are ripping Nova apart because they don't like her. They're calling her brick. They're calling her boy. They're calling her a boy in a wig. They're doing all the things. And so Tony is like, okay, sis, you're not maintaining the continuity of your non-transphobia. Remember, you're supposed to be a non-transphobe. So why are you in toxic spaces around people who feel comfortable enough to misgender a trans woman if you are not a transphobe and that's a allegation you're trying to succeed? Then turned around tonight. Alfeeyaa, Tony was on TTV's panel. She hit the link. She was explaining her gripe with Alfeeyaa, which was which is the lack of continuity with Alfeeyaa because she's being double-handed. She says she's not transphobic, but you in transphobic spaces, people making transphobic comments, you nodding, you smiling, you kikiing. You might not be saying anything directly transphobic, but you are complicit with other people who are being directly transphobic instead of exiting those spaces or pushing back and saying, hey, y'all, I appreciate y'all taking up for me, but I don't want y'all to do that at the expense of misgendering her. Y'all don't got to do all that. If y'all don't like Nova, that's cool. Not like her because she arrogant. Not like her because she raggedy as fuck. Not like her because her personality is just not attractive. But don't misgender her and be transphobic for her under the guise of defending me. And if y'all are going to do that, I would prefer y'all to do that when I'm not here. But while I'm here in y'all space, I don't want y'all to do that around my likeness and my presence, because I respect all trans women and I respect Nova's trans identity, and I'm not for the transphobia of it all. But that's not what Alfeeyaa been doing, according to Tony. She been kikiing, smiling, entertaining the foolishness and the bullshit. So it only complicates the issue. But then Alfeeyaa had hit the link as well. And Alfeeyaa and Tony were going back and forth. And then Alfeeyaa misgenders Tony, quote unquote, by fucking accident. I'm just like, oh my God, Alfeeyaa, girl. Like, bitch, you got it. You are the people's champion right now. And now that Tony on your ass and she was already accusing you of perpetuating transphobia against Nova and all of this stuff, and now you quote unquote accidentally in real time, loud, live, and in color for all to see, end up misgendering Tony. So is Alfeeyaa transphobic, girl? And I don't want to believe Alfeeyaa is. There was definitely no reason for her to misgender Tony. They were just having a conversation. They did have a difference of perspective on what they were talking about, but it wasn't like it was a battle per se going. I did hear the misgendering because I was watching in real time. Tony did get very upset and say she's leaving the show. She's not putting up with this shit, and she got off the motherfucking live. Alfeeyaa gave a parody, snarky apology that ultimately kind of mocked Tony feelings about being misgendered. That doesn't make it better. That's not bettering your plight, Alfeeyaa. And then I knew that Alfeeyaa knew what she was doing, because when she misgendered Tony and Tony clocked it, Alfeeyaa was like, her first response was, oh, girl, no, that was an accident. I got my son right here in front of me, and I was looking at him while I'm talking to you. But then as Tony kept pressing the issue, Alfeeyaa then started kind of like owning it. It was like, okay, yeah, girl, I said it, but I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. So like, well, Alfeeyaa, it can't be that you said it by accident because you were visually looking at your son while talking to Tony, which kind of still doesn't make sense, because if you were talking to another biological woman, would you have called that bio woman a he because you were looking at your son? We don't really see that happening. That's not kind of something that happens. That's not even something that, like, that's not a common happening. That's not anything. And so going back to the Tramel part, where Tramel tried to defend Alfeeyaa, but Alfeeyaa was willing to bend the knee to the elites instead of alley-ooping and using the way that Tramel has set her up to advocate for herself. It goes back to my earlier points about Alfeeyaa, where I feel like the cast is definitely onto something when it comes to this thought around Alfeeyaa not taking a lot of responsibility. She flip-flops, she throws the rock and hides her hand. I can now see that in her character, that there's a character flaw there, and that she retreats once she's fucked up instead of owning it. And then if she's able to all out lie about what she said, she will. But then if the other living witnesses come forward to hold her accountable, then she'll own it, but then still add insult to injury by trying to woman-splain it away rather than address what the fuck is really going on with you. Like, what really is it? Is it that when you look at trans women, all you really see are men in wigs? Because it shouldn't be easy for you to keep misgendering trans women, and now you've misgendered another trans woman outside of Nova. And just like some people are arguing that Nova has a pattern, now Alfeeyaa has a pattern. So I don't want to believe that Alfeeyaa is transphobic, but given now that both ladies have circumstantial evidence against them to imply that they may be what they are being accused of, I think it's a 50-50 toss-up. Either Alfeeyaa is a transphobe or she isn't, and either Nova is a colorist and hates women in general, or she doesn't. But now both of these women have done enough for it to be a problem to be had. And I'm not really sure where either one of them go now as a result of them both putting their foot in their mouth. I do think the cast could have done more to check Nova. There should have been a congressional hearing about Nova's comments. And I know that there are castmates who said certain things that Nova said at the Lemon Squeeze we didn't hear in real time because it was so much hooting and hollering. So we heard it, of course, because it was coming through Nova's mic. But they didn't hear it in real time, all being in the actual room together, which is understandable. But I feel like also a part of Chasing Reality's audience being upset with Chasing is because, and this is why I'm going to have to tug on Dario's wig just a little bit. I feel like the public feels like, okay, even if the cast didn't catch it because they're living it in real time and they can't hear everything, but the producers knew. The producers heard it back in the edit. They heard it in the playback. They heard it. And based upon the type of climate socially that we're living in, it was easy to conclude, girl, that this isn't going to translate well. Now, what I don't agree with is some people felt like, oh, they should have just edited all that out so that we never had to have these type of conversations about the show. We never had to address these deep, heavy topics like colorism, anti-Blackness, transphobia, because the producers had, quote unquote, the authority to edit out all this stuff. But I feel like that would have been a missed opportunity. I feel like the producers absolutely should have allowed everything that got said to be heard by the audience. But I feel like the missed opportunity on the producers' parts is that they didn't make these moments meaningful and follow up with specials, because Chasing Reality Atlanta could have had a special in between the season addressing colorism or addressing transphobia. They could have brought in T.S. Madison to address the whole transphobia thing. They could have brought in like they could have brought in advocates, Hope Giselle, to have an informed discussion on why words matter, what not being transphobic looks like, on the conversations around race and anti-Blackness. They could have brought in experts. They could have made specials. Love and Hip Hop did this when Erica Mena and Spice got into it. And Erica Mena was monkey, a blue-haired monkey. And then right in the middle of the season, you saw that there's a whole cast special where they address colorism in the Black community and talked about the way that shows up within our community, etc. So I don't mind that they left it in the edits, because these are important conversations to be had. And obviously in 2026, these are still things that are as much of a reality today as they were 40 years ago, 60 years ago, 80 years ago, 100 years ago. So I feel like the dropping of the ball was just in the fact that the producers didn't follow it up and use it as a teachable moment. And they could have put real depth behind this season based upon the type of things that were coming up amongst the cast. And it could have been even more substantive and educational and informative. So going forward, you know, that can be something that maybe they can keep in mind. And something that I think would really be beneficial to the culture, because these are conversations that are not going to be up until a colorism, anti-Blackness, transphobia is just dead. Until these issues are actually dead, until they actually have ceased to be, they're going to be relevant and necessary conversations that we should burden ourselves to have, because education is elevation, in the words of Consciouztv. I also feel like if Alfeeyaa is going to be held to the hellfire of being transphobic and misgendering, that Noelle, who is This is Noel. Where's Noel? This is the guy that Nova had a problem with on the first episode, who is androgynous and gender bends. I feel like they need to hold Noel equally accountable because, baby, Noel wore Nova thin at the reunion. He did everything but call Nova a woman of God, girl. He misgendered her. He called her a cross-dresser. He did all of the things. He did exactly what Alfeeyaa is argued to have done. They're arguing that Alfeeyaa weaponized transphobia to defend herself against Nova, and Noel did the very same thing. Nova came for him, and he retaliated by being transphobic as all hell. So I think if there is going to be accountability, that accountability need to be had across the board, and there's no cherry picking. And if wigs are going to be gathered, all of the wigs need to be gathered accordingly, and there not be no exceptions to the rule. And because Noel is not getting no pushback, he's not getting no exposés on his transphobia, on his identity, on his shortcomings, on his whatever. I think this is playing into why the public feels like the cast is being biased toward Alfeeyaa because she's a female. It just plays more into that narrative of like, girl, y'all really have a particular issue with Alfeeyaa, and the only thing that the audience can surmise and summarize is that, well, it has to be because she is a cis woman. It just has to be. So I think the cast is dropping the ball too. And I think that if they were doing a better job at holding everybody accountable, that it wouldn't look biased. It wouldn't look so biased. The cast may not be biased, but it looks biased. And a lot of this chin checking that the castmates said that they did do with Nova, a lot of that shit happened off camera. So of course that doesn't count because this is a show and people are reacting to what is shown on the show. And so all of this correction and chin checking and regulating, if it's happening outside the cameras, I mean, how the fuck are the audience going to know? They don't know that. So it just looks how it looks. So word to the wise is, baby, do all the chin checking loud, live, and in color, bitch, in 4K when them cameras are rolling, girl. Tuck on the wigs, okay? Have that shit well documented and chronicled, girl. Release PSAs and stories on your IGs and make formal statements to the public, child, and just let there be a open demonstration, because as public figures, you're going to be judged based upon what people see and are aware of. Whatever people are not aware of does not fucking count to the public, no matter how much of a reality it may have actually been. Is there anything else I want to say? I think I feel clear. I feel concise. I thought my commentary was going to be a bit more disorganized than what it was. So I'm proud of myself. I think my thoughts kind of came all together real nicely. I think we held both parties accountable. Do you guys feel like my commentary is balanced? Because I genuinely see the issues on all sides and feel like everybody has a role to play and everybody could have done better. I hope you guys understand my talking points. Because once again, child, I did not know how this execution was going to go because I was kind of tired. And I was like, oh, girl, it's so much going on. Even right now, as I'm loading up this live, there's so much information coming out. I don't even know what the fuck to really say. But now that we got up here and did it, hello, I think it went awesome. I want you guys to subscribe to Chasing Reality. Shout out to them for their 100K plus on YouTube. Shout out to Ondario for an amazing season. Shout out to Jamar for producing an amazing season. Shout out to the cast. Because no matter what the criticism is, girl, this season got the conversation started for one reason or a motherfucking another. So they understood the fucking assignment. What I love to see everybody come back for a second round? I think so. I think that there's still a lot to get to know and to unpack about these people. I hope that Alfeeyaa doesn't quit the show. I've heard some other people will not be returning. I heard that a lot of people not coming back. So there may be a lot of replacements, girl, coming through for season 8, but I do think that they should give themselves a second round, girl, of the thizzle. We understand, girl. We will see you at 3. Hush, Devon. Make sure y'all subscribe to Chasing, girl. If you have not caught up, girl, y'all watch the season between now and Thursday because I want y'all to be informed when Tramel gets here, okay? So y'all have time, girl, to binge watch the season. At least watch the reunion. It's a part 1, part 2, and you're gonna want to watch part 3, girl. Them hoes lost it on part 3, girl, okay? So all of y'all who thought part 1 and part 2 was boring and it dragged, baby, they're going to give y'all the things on part 3, which airs tomorrow on Chasing Reality's YouTube channel at 8 p.m., I believe. Tramel would then be here the following day to get into so many motherfucking things. Shout out to TTV Network, girl, because baby, you're working, Miss TTV. You're gathering, girl. The intel is intelling. The data is dataing, baby. I was watching you before I got my ass up here. So, you know, shout out to you, baby, for pressing that live button and getting Tony and Alfeeyaa in the motherfucking room together. I'm enjoying your show, TTV. Much love to you. You guys, please subscribe to TTV Network, an award-winning platform, okay? As TTV always reminds us of, girl, he's a working girl. Also follow him on Instagram and the things. I will see you guys for Tramel's exclusive interview here Thursday at 8 p.m. Loud Live in color to the folk. And I love y'all, and we're gonna continue this conversation, okay, on Thursday. Please watch at least the reunion. For those of you who have never seen Chasing Reality and don't know what the fuck I'm talking about up here, you won't regret it. Please thumbs up, share. Also subscribe to J Inclusive. Does amazing work. If you guys want to catch up on all the things going on with Dominique Morgan, J Inclusive does really great deep dives and educational content about very trendy scenarios and topics. Girl, he's going to be the one to give you the 4, the 1, and the 1+. So please make sure that you guys subscribe to J Inclusive, and have a wonderful Tuesday. We got mess to get into tomorrow on an old nasty hump day, so I'll be loud live and in motherfucking color. Hey, depending on if I get the sugar up in my body, we may be loud live and in color by midnight. Y'all know how I do, girl. When I get in it, I'm in it, bitch. When I'm out of it, I'm out of it. But shout out to Chasing Reality, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.